Okay guys, hello and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be talking about doing a dirty bulk and why I don't actually practice this. So if you don't know, doing a dirty bulk is basically, it's often done the first time someone goes to the gym and really wants to bulk up some muscle mass. So what they'll do is they'll go to the gym and they're not, with their current diet, they're not eating enough calories to build muscle. They're not in that surplus. So what they'll do is they will start consuming lots of very high calorie foods that's not necessarily healthy, but it helps them to get over that calorie threshold where they're putting on muscle mass. So they'll start eating lots of fast food, lots of stuff that's high in sugar, and there are also advantages to this because it's a nice shortcut to just get yourself over that limit where you're starting to put on muscle mass. And it's quite nice because you're eating with impunity effectively. Suddenly you can just eat loads of fast food and it's actually good in a sense because you're putting on muscle mass the more of it that you eat. However, like I say, I don't practice this myself. Despite being someone who's more skinny, I'm the sort of guy who would usually be tempted to go on a dirty bulk because my calorie intake is, I need to eat in quite a surplus, quite a lot of calories to really put on muscle mass because I'm more skinny. But like I said, I don't do it. And I'm going to talk over why I don't do it myself and why I wouldn't recommend it necessarily to someone. And that's because, it's not because I don't think it's not effective, right? I've seen people on YouTube, on this platform, who have done amazing body transformations from dirty bulking. I think it's definitely legit. In terms of just putting on muscle, it's probably the most effective way to do that, right? The problem comes in for me is that you don't want to build negative habits on top of positive ones. Going to the gym is a positive habit, and what's so great about it, as well as putting on muscle mass, is that it sets a positive spiral in your life. And I think if you start doing a dirty bulk, you miss the opportunity to tap into a lot of this positive spiraling. You don't really realise it, but it just tanks your mental health, basically. It's so much harder to focus on if you've eaten the shit food. And a lot of YouTubers say this, but just to reiterate, I really think that this idea that calories are just calories is a bad idea to go down. In terms of gaining muscle, sure, you'll gain the same amount of muscle for whatever you eat. But in terms of your mental health and in terms of your actual physical health above how strong you are, I don't think it's the best method. And getting muscle, okay, like I said earlier, getting muscle mass is a great way to put on muscle mass. And that's one of many things that you should focus on in self-improvement. I do think gaining muscle mass as a young man is one of the best things you can do. But I don't think it should be the only thing that you do. And if you dirty bulk, it's the only thing that you can really improve. If you dirty bulk, you miss out on the opportunity to improve on your sleep, on your mental health, on your self-discipline, all these other things there are very few things that are as important as putting on muscle mass, but sleep, mental health and self-discipline are definitely up there. And all you're doing is you're improving your muscle mass, but you're not improving your sleep, you're not improving your mental health, you're not improving your self-discipline. All those are taking a hit while your muscle mass is going up. And I think it's much better to bring all of them up at the same time. And if you have a good diet, where you're still in a calorie surplus, but you're eating healthily, you're eating relatively clean, you can bring all of them up together, and it's more gradual, it's less of a sexy answer, right? But in the long term, it's a much more rewarding thing to bring all of them up at the same time. And like I say, you miss out on that opportunity to do that for the large part if you're on a dirty bulk. Now the second reason is, this is the more important thing for me, is that I don't actually think it's that hard to bulk without going really dirty anyway. It's really not that difficult to get in a calorie surplus if you go about it in the right way. What I found is liquid calories is, if you have a few smoothies, a few chuck in peanut butter, a few scoops of whey protein, and some oats, and a couple of bananas, bit of milk, stuff like that. Very quickly you can have a 1,000 calorie shake that you can just drink there and then. So it's not like you really need to bulk to get into that calorie surplus anyway. It's not like it's very difficult. If you just use liquid calories, use a bit of mass gainer, and you'll still see more progress if you have one of these crazy calorie surpluses where you're eating lots of junk foods. But you'll still be able to get into that surplus, and that's all that really matters. And finally, the thing about getting shape is it's a long game anyway, and I think my attitude to working out is I want to have something that's going to last me my whole life, basically. I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to sustain and grow muscle mass in a way that is sustainable throughout my whole life and factors in other areas of my life. And I just don't think dirty bulking is really a way that you can think long term. Because eventually you're going to need to go through a cut, and that cut's going to be, you're going to lose a lot of your muscle mass with that anyway. I think it's much better to just work on having a really good bulk. It's more difficult, but in the long term, you're going to be. It's a long game anyway. So the main advantage of bulking, that it's quick and easy, doesn't really work for me, because I think going to the gym and getting a good physique is not something where you should think quick and easy, because it's such a fundamental thing to having a good life, and it's not as simple as just having a quick fix and there you are. If you want to read the benefits that I think are important for it anyway. So there you have it, guys. I hope this was a helpful video, and I will see you in the next one.